Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. It's a spectacular morning, and I'm so happy you are spending a little bit of time with me. It's always great to see you. There is some spectacular fishing going on. There was some conking on the Bluefin tuna grounds last night again, and it's continuing into the morning hours here. We're also seeing some really good halibut fishing in some areas, and that white sea bass explosion, it's on the horizon. It's already occurring, but it's going to blow even sky higher. Is that a word? It's going to get even better here really, really soon. Hey, you know what time it is, everybody. Good morning to you all. It's time for the morning briefing. Oh my God, is that good or what? I want to start out this morning's report with congratulations to young Michael Limon, who got an award last night for writing the best essay in 8 school districts. And his topic, of course, yellowfin tuna. He is a great kid. He comes down to the 22nd Street Landing Studios all the time with his wonderful grandpa, Dan Lightfoot, and the two of them, well, Dan and I sit around and BS about fishing. Michael's out catching all kinds of fish. He loves fishing. He's turned it into an academic pursuit now. He's excelled at it. Michael, you are number one. You're a huge part, you two guys, of the Friedman Adventure family. I cannot be happier than to call you both my friends. That is great stuff. September the 8th, we're going to be fishing out of C4 Sportfishing on the Apollo. That trip just opening up, haven't promoted it. It will fill up in a hurry. If you'd like to join us, a one-day trip. It departs the 7th, fishes Friday the 8th of September. That should be an awesome trip on the beautiful Apollo out of C4 Sportfishing. You want to get on that trip? 657-227-6459. So make sure you shoot me a message right away. Hey, check this out. Mike Baker put this video up. It's on board the Tribute, and man, that bluefin knocked the rail out. That is pretty exciting stuff. Pretty darn cool. The guys on deck could be overheard saying, "Never seen that before." And I've got to say, I haven't either. So that is pretty remarkable. Really great stuff. And that just shows the power of these bluefin tuna. Those powerful bluefin tuna were on a tear here recently. Scott Buchert celebrated his birthday out on the Pegasus, and he had a great trip catching limits of bluefin tuna on their very first night. Outstanding fishing on board the Pegasus. Scott said the crew, the food, the fishing, all of it absolutely fantastic. And the Pegasus is going all week long out of Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. Fisherman's Landing in San Diego, Pegasus, you cannot beat it. I chartered that boat for many, many, many years. It's a great rig, gets bit, and the crew on there is spectacular. Incidentally, the galley cook shot a video of everybody singing happy birthday to Scott. So I'm looking for that video, man. You saw that phone number that I gave. Shoot me that video. I would love to have that. Who knows, that has got to be really a cool video. So great stuff there on the Pegasus. Last night, the Intrepid with outstanding bluefin tuna fishing. Now, there's a mix of fish. Let's get this clear. There's this 15 to 40 pound stuff. Sometimes you get a trip where you catch all of that, and then there's bigger fish. The Intrepid made a move, and he ran quite a few hours to go see if he could find some bigger fish, and he did. 50 to 100 plus pound bluefin tuna. Nice hit for them. That fish still biting really, really well. There's a lot of that big stuff around, so you've got to go properly tackled up whenever you go. Incidentally, on the Tribute, where that fish knocked off the rail, they had fish to 150 pounds, and they ended up with limits also. Really great fishing. You definitely want to have a rod with, a lot of guys will say 30 to 40. I'm going to say 25 to 40. Sometimes, you know, you hit a kelp for yellows. Sometimes smaller bluefin are a little bit finicky. 25-pound fluoro, www.optionusa.com works really, really well. And I'll tell you, put in FA at checkout, you'll get a free gift and a love note from Greg Brown. But yeah, you want to choose a good hot bait, and probably a number 2 circle hook is going to be just perfect for you. Then you want a 50 to 60 pound outfit. You can throw those Daiwa Sakanas, the 100 to 150 grams have been working really well. And also use it to fish with sinker rig. 6 to 8 ounce torpedo sinkers will be your best friend there. That works really well. And then of course, if you have a 2-speed reel with the heavy, you definitely have to bring it. Now that is mandatory on these day-and-a-half trips. I'm talking like maybe on the San Diego, the Mission Bell, the Grande, those guys that leave in the morning, come back in the evening. You can probably get away with not bringing a 2-speed with 100-pound, 130-pound on it. all day and a half trips, you should really be tackled up. You just never know when you're going to get into that big grade of fishing. When you're fishing at night, I don't care if the deck's littered with 20 pounders, you just never know when that 300 pounder is going to engulf your jig, and you're going to want to have proper tackle to pull that off. That is for sure. Matthew Mendelkow was on a recent trip on board the Aztec. I just want to give him props. He raved about the Aztec crew. The fishing was wide open. They had limits, and he was really stoked to get out and experience that. Polaris Supreme Limits of Bluefin Tuna. It is biting really, really well right now. Doesn't seem to want to slow down, and it just seems to get better and better and better. So let's keep our fingers crossed that's going to continue. The jigs at night that you want to be using, those SK jigs, red hot. SK jigs are working good, 350 to 400 grams. We're going to take some out and use them and get some video of that for you very, very soon. Incidentally, Daiwa, a major sponsor of Friedman Adventures, so proud to have them on board, and you cannot take better gear on a bluefin tuna trip than Daiwa. Make sure you are Daiwa'd up for your next trip, that is for sure. So what can I tell you? Really excellent bluefin tuna fishing out of San Diego. It's continuing. Even the day boats yesterday, the San Diego with a nice hit, 34 bluefin tuna and 4 yellowtail. And folks, I got to make this clear to you. Those day trips where they leave in the morning and come back in the evening, the pressure is on the crew and captains. If you zig instead of zag, man, you could miss out. It's like you're one kelp or one stop away from a make or break day. Those guys, I have so much respect for how hard they work to pull a rabbit out of the hat just about every single day. It is really remarkable. Great crews out of San Diego and elsewhere. It's just great to work with so many hard-working young men and women in this business, and some old ones too, for that matter. All right, let's talk about our bite down in Ensenada. They are getting some bluefin tuna for the Pongueros down there. They're seeing bluefin, and that is great news for Arnie Man down there. It's for real sport fishing, blackfin sport fishing, and a myriad of other operations down there that really do a great job. Their customer service, well, it's part of the reason I go to Mexico. It's called Baja Hospitality. It's fantastic to go across the border and experience that, and the food and the culture, the wonderful warm people, and the great fishing. And they're starting to see more and more of that down there in Ensenada, Baja California Norte right now. So hopefully that bite will continue for them. They have good rock fishing in several different areas in addition to that. All right, let's talk about this sea bass going on in this neck of the woods. Anywhere, well, you know, most of our islands here, Catalina, Santa Barbara, San Clemente, the Channel Island region, still sitting on a powder keg that's going to explode. That does not suggest that we're not catching sea bass and halibut right now. There are some excellent scores, which I will get into in one moment with you, but it's going to get even better. You get that water temp consistently up there over 60, and it gets to about 62, 63, and it's going to blow sky high. And it's all a result of all that market squid that we've had all over the place for the entire winter and now into the spring. That market squid is a magnet that attracts predators, and that's the thing that's going to turn it up a notch. David Rosenthal. What a great guy David is. He's such a great fisherman. He's such a great person. Let me give you an example about David before I talk about his trip on the Pacific Dawn. David sent a bunch of clothing over for our efforts in Mexico. We're sending a ton of stuff down to Cedros. I have some info on that for you in just 1 minute. So he forgot to send me one of the shoes. So I got one shoe, ton of other clothing from him. But he goes, hey, I've got this shoe here, man. You know, what am I going to do? And he went to the trouble and the expense to box the shoe up and to ship it to me so I could reunite it with the other shoe and make somebody's life a little nicer down in Mexico Lindo. That's the kind of person David is. Anyway, he was on the Pacific Dawn out of Ventura Harbor sport fishing here recently, and man, they had just a fabulous trip, and a lot of it was due to the crew and the boat, the Pacific Dawn. David said the boat is so comfortable, the bunks are great, the food wonderful, great fishing platform, and he said the crew, they went out of their way with customer service and helping new anglers and just, you know, making it a lovely experience on board the Pacific Dawn. He couldn't have raved more about them. And they even fished late for them. They didn't have a trip the next day, so they said, hey, you want to stay late? We'll stay late. We'll catch you some more sea bass if we can. So they had an absolutely great and dream trip with 11 white sea bass for 13 anglers, 25 to 35 pound class. Nice hit for them on the sea bass. Of course, rockfish to go along with it. Really great fishing. And he couldn't have said more about the Pacific Dawn. And David, you're the man. I'm so happy you had a great trip. The Pride is reporting in right now with 14 white sea bass and 21 halibut. Man, have they been hot out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. They've got to be right up there at the top of how good this bite has been this year. They have been all over it. I mean, I don't know if they've had a clunker trip. Maybe when they first got going, they missed because it was just wintertime and, the water. But now, consistently pumping out great catches of halibut and white sea bass. And we're not even talking about the copious amounts of colorful and good-eating rockfish that they're able to provide for the people on board the Pride. They've been red hot. Freedom with a halibut, 5 white sea bass. Of course, the Thunderbird with Jeff Markland. He's going to be out looking around this weekend, and Jeff's a capable fisherman, and that's a beautiful boat out of Davies Locker in Newport Beach. So they'll be out bouncing around trying to make it happen. Up there on the Aloha Spirit yesterday, not bad at all, as they ended up with a white sea bass and 6 halibut for 18 guys, and then again copious amounts of rockfish, as there's plenty of rockfish for local boats from Ensenada all the way up past the Channel Islands. Rock fishing's been great. The only thing that'll normally throw it off, and sometimes it gets like slow, sometimes they don't bite too, but for the most part, you're going to end up with limits of fish unless you get a lot of wind. And it looks like we'll have a wind event maybe on Sunday evening, afternoon, and then it will blow until about Tuesday, and then it's going to lay down for our Endeavor trip Wednesday night. Perfect. I like that weather coming down just perfectly for our trip. I can't wait to see all of you on that trip, all of you who have booked. That is going to be a really fun trip, no question about it. I love it. All right, John Coughlin, how about a pending state and world record flag rockfish? Check that big thing out. That I haven't seen one that big before. It probably is going to be a new world record once he jumps through all the hoops, and hopefully he'll let us know how he does on that. So there is some really great fishing going on, folks. Excellent fishing, and I'm hoping that it's going to continue. Hey, don't forget the surf fishing contest, tournament, I guess it's called. We're putting on with Big Fish Bait and Tackle, Island Fishing Tackle, 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, and most importantly, the Redondo Rod and Gun Club. We're going to have a great tournament May 20th and 21st. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's only $20. There's a banquet after. There's some great prizes. It's going to be fun. And you can sign up in all those locales. I'll have more information for you as we go along. All right, don't forget Apollo, September 7th and 8th. We depart on the 7th, fish on the 8th. That should be a really great trip on board the Apollo. 657-227-6459. Don't forget to like these videos, share them with a friend. We deeply appreciate that. Subscribe and tick that little bell so that you're notified when there is new content, and we are pumping out content all day long. So great bluefin tuna fishing continuing down in San Diego and northern Baja California. It is off the hook. That sea bass and halibut bite is good for some, great for others, and ready to blow sky high. Take my word for that one. And still a few opportunities to fish with Friedman Adventures. That September 7th and 8th trip, leaving the 7th, fishing Friday the 8th, is going to sell out in a real hurry. So jump on board if you'd like to join us. All right, my friends, have a great day. It's always wonderful to spend time with you. Congratulations to Michael Limon and Grandpa Dan Lightfoot. It's fantastic. Glad you had a great trip. David Rosenthal, and to the rest of you guys, if you've been out, I hope you had a great trip. If you're headed out, I wish you the very, very best. Have a great day, and I hope to see you really, really soon.